This is TWiT.
More of the Snowden leaks are coming out, and now this most recent story is essentially that the National Security Agency has done a huge amount to bypass privacy on the web, to undermine encryption. They dedicate, according to the story, as much as $250 million a year of their secret budget to subverting companies like Microsoft. They literally are planting agents within these companies to put backdoors in their encryption. They've subverted the National Institute for Standards and Technology, which is a standards body in the United States that, among other things, creates standards for government encryption. It seems as if we've got an out-of-control surveillance state.
I believe that it's so badly broken that I'm just never going to trust any technology company or any technology product ever again, because it's the kind of trust that once broken, you can never get back. If they can lie about spying now, there's no point in them saying we've stopped doing it, because you'll never believe them. And it undermines not only the internet, it undermines your faith in any product you use on any service ever for the rest of time.
Bruce says it undermines the very fabric of the internet. It is doing huge damage. Now, Gibson came on and said, look, a lot of this is essentially link bait from these news agencies. He says, understand what's happening here. And Schneier says this too, the math is still good. Strong encryption has not been cracked. There's no reason to think that the NSA has such supercomputer powers in the basement there that they're able to get through, 2048 or much less 4096-bit, RSA encryption. Strong encryption still works. But the NSA realized before 9/11 and stepped it up after 9/11 that the internet was rapidly going dark for them. And so has created an effort in which they spend $250 million a year, at least, to get around this. And so they talk about a very commonly used telecom program that the NSA placed a backdoor in. I'm presuming it's Skype. You have to presume that any closed source encryption like Microsoft's BitLocker or Apple's File Vault could very well have a backdoor in it. But Steve pointed out, and this is absolutely true, if you're using TrueCrypt or OpenPGP, if you're using an open source solution, you're likely still able to send secure messaging.
There's two scary things about this is not only that they created backdoors, there's no guarantee that other people haven't found them and used them. I mean, just because the NSA is using them doesn't mean people that you'd be much more worried about than the NSA aren't using them. And also they store this stuff. So while the strong encryption is good now, who knows how good it'll be in 5 years with the advance of the computers, or 10 years. But I do think that it's nice in America, at least, that there's a debate about this stuff going on, because in a lot of countries, it's just assumed, or your government is legally allowed to do this thing, and there's no dialogue going on about it, or people are just not aware about it. And at least here, and I don't know if it's clickbait or not, the level of awareness to a culture that usually doesn't care about anything because privacy is, they'd rather have convenience than privacy. I'm really glad the debate at least is going on.
Well, and we are living through a moment where we are learning incrementally, almost week by week. We are learning things that either confirm things that we thought in the past, or simply are. I mean, some of the comments in here were that when the NSA showed this to their counterparts in Britain, that they were quote unquote gobsmacked by this, particularly the ability to decrypt things from the past. And this is important because if you think of the degree to which now I'm very nonpartisan, but you think of the degree to which the Bradley Manning files really set off a firestorm because of the cables and what was revealed in those cables. That was a very small amount of documents compared to what we are now able to access. This is akin to unlocking the past. We are able to see many of the secrets that were kept in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. And that really does inform our policy positions going forward with our allies and our enemies.
I believe that we have the right to privacy from these police agencies. And I also believe, and I think this is very important, that once a state becomes a surveillance state, there's no going backward.
You don't go back.
V for Vendetta.
It's almost always the first step toward a totalitarian government. We are able to have this conversation, thank God, now, without worrying about people banging down our doors. But we're moving in very much the wrong direction. if you want to do something about this, Representative Rush Holt, who is a Democrat from New Jersey in the House of Representatives, has introduced a bill called the Surveillance State Repeal Act. I think good timing. It would repeal the Patriot Act and the FISA Amendments Act. I don't know if this thing has a chance in hell. Probably not when you have a Congress, well, it's apparently in the back pocket of the NSA. But I think you should write your member of Congress. One thing we know that they do care about is their constituency. And if you write them and say, please support the Surveillance State Repeal Act, if enough people write to them, I think they start to pay attention to this. This is really scary.